Good evening everyone, welcome for Assetto Corsa Glitches and for the Pro Series, the Pro Steering Gear GT3. We are currently in Nurburgring, back again, well back again for me at least, considering yesterday's live stream. But for now it's going to be a huge amount of drivers. There are currently 27 drivers on the tarmac, on the German tarmac. And it's going to be quite a phenomenal race in my opinion, because it's Nurburgring, so it's the best track of the calendar in my opinion. Shake my head. And for now the championship is pretty much in the air. There isn't really anyone that is having more than anyone else. I think I want to go with someone that is ahead of everyone. I just don't know who. Don't know. Let's try this. But anyway, 220, yeah, here it is. But anyway, it's qualifying, so 15 minutes to go for all the drivers. And according to be Domogos as he is the first one on track, and as always, it seems like no one learns from the past. As you can see from the minimap, everyone is basically bunched up like a fist. While it's 2 minutes of length in terms of time, so you can take your time. It's not really the end of the day, but this is a war that I will constantly I will constantly move on, and I will constantly being defeated. But anyway, for now in fact I am already seeing yellow flags. Oh no, the whole race control is going yellow. Haha. Funny thing, it's not really funny. Thanks for the change. It's okay. But for now we are going with the Domogos for the first run. And on the McLaren, so not really the best of the cars, but it is definitely one of the cars, because ultimately it is kind of the slowest in terms of esports level. It is one of the slowest. It went around the Reddit, the fact that the McLaren is 9 seconds slower than the Porsche. Well, what was the Porsche, because now the Porsche is a brick. But nevertheless, it's one of the most used cars I see all around. The Mercedes is less used than the McLaren, just by saying. And the Mercedes is now the second fastest car, maybe the third, because the Ferrari is the second. But anyhow, there are numerous amount of cars. I think, oddly enough, there are just 3 Hondas, considering now the Honda is just the best. It is the meta. And the Porsche, there are 5, and they will cry for the whole rest of the season, thanks to the BOP. And oh, that's a cone flying by. But for now, it was a little up with Domogos. Currently the final hairpin. And it is the first lap of the night. And it is a 55.6, and then Cassitrash just behind with a 54.5, and then Perry with a 53.7 completes the top 3. James Perry currently the number 4 Porsche. Seems like Nurburgring is maybe one of the few tracks that hasn't been killed for the Porsche. Lazzi goes in third, with Nakira in second, 2 times away from Perry. It is now Juwig goes in 7th and Kops in 8th, but I think Kops made a banger lap because it is 3.5 seconds away, so don't really think that was a real lap more than anything. Alfie Baron goes in 95 Honda in 5th place, with Victor Martin currently in the 24. He's staying in 3rd. So it seems like well, Nurburgring is very long, I have to admit it, and does the first lap is usually very much a banger lap because the tires, because it's nighttime and the temperatures are not really that good, as Mitchell Thompson Dennis goes in 4th. As the temperatures are not very good, air temperature, track temperature, usually the first lap is just a lap to settle yourself, not to do anything more. It is the second one that really counts more than anything. And I'm currently with Victor Martin because he is currently 3 times with sparks flying by, 3 times below. And the BMW has always been a bit of an odd matter because it's either the fastest car in the history of humankind or the slowest brick ever conceived. As James Perry, I wasn't looking at him, but he went slightly faster than himself at the very last moment. In fact, he went in a 53.7, still 2 times away from Nakira. But we'll stay here because for now, seems like a very good track. I was saying the BMW is pretty much the car that works 100% or doesn't fin. That's it. And seems like in Nurburgring maybe the news of the weekend, because I'm also seeing Marco Cady improving a lot. And the BMW is always one of those cars that is it good? And the answer is always maybe. Because it's front engine, it's very slow in every corner. He goes 4 times below Perry. And speaking of the other BMW, another 4 times being improved by the Swiss driver. I was saying, it's always like, is it fast? And you can't really answer. It's understeers a lot, but it's very stable. In terms of oversteer, there is no oversteer. It's possibly the most stable car all around, since the Bentley is dead. For good reasons, I would say, because the Bentley is old. So they just killed it altogether. As Marco Cady goes in 6th place, just below, well, he's a 10th and something, well, more than something. But for now I want to go with James Perry because the number 4 is flying. He is literally flying across the track. He's basically becoming an airplane, since he is 4 times nearly faster. Seems like the Porsche is not really that bad. Well, it is sometimes. But I thought the hairpin was... you noticed it. He went on the curb and I thought he lost 3 times just in the final moment. In fact, he wouldn't even conclude the lap. And he was 3 times faster than himself. But I thought the curb on the inside of the last hairpin kinda collected him. And this means that currently Mattia Nakira is the maybe fastest car and driver in the whole track. Well, at least he is for now. As in James Perry made everything that could in terms of best sectors. I think the third one is the only one that is missing. No, never mind. I'm looking at the best sectors and it is a full purple by James Perry. Every single sector. It's astonishing. But for now I want to go with Nakira. Because it seems like the Italian in the 15, he went a bit... oh no, more than a bit. He went completely on the gravel and the lap is not valid anymore. So even for him the pole position is gone in a matter of seconds. So for now we want to go with Monica Tomlinson Dennis for the Eclipse Racing Esports, as he is currently into a good lap. He goes in 6th, just a tiny bit below the 5/10 of P1. Yeah, I saw the name is back, okay. I already finished. Did I say thanks? Ah, James corrected it, okay. No way he said to stop and restart the stream, because now it's okay. Speaking of Mercedes, I'm seeing Villazzi that is kinda improving, and sometimes it doesn't, sometimes he... okay, no, never mind. Track limit! So for now with Alfie Baron in the 95 Honda. Kinda out to see a Honda solo the grid, but he is improving, in fact. 3 times currently in his lap, now 4. There is a car in front of him. Goes full committed into the apex, and it's nearly 5/10 from the line, and he goes in 8th, just behind the other BMW. us giving a... Oh, there is the Aston. I think whoever the Aston is, it will definitely be a problem for Alfie Baron, that he's currently 2 times below himself, so it seems like the first turn 1 was effectively the key for his luck. Ooh! As the rear kind of sets, and in fact he went even off track, so the problem won't be the car in front of him, but more himself, as Milton Thompson is for the other ERS car in the orange colors, just behind the Ferrari. It may be a bit of a... Oh, he went in the grass! It's unfortunate because with 4 minutes to the end, he has to be quick to get back onto the pit as quick as possible, change the tires, put as less fuel as possible. I was on YouTube. Ah. Hey. But speaking of improvements, it seems like the only car on track. No, okay, there are other cars, but you can see from the left side of your screen, it's literally all red except for 3 names, of which this only one is the quickest of them all, and not only the quickest of the improvements, but he's also going into pole position with a 53.5. Just, well, just, he's 1.5 tenths away from Perry, so Porsche washed. I'm sad, honestly, because I wanted the Porsche to live a little bit before the new Porsche comes out, because it's here. I think there is a month to go for the Porsche to appear in our, I don't know, arts, for whoever loves it. I destroyed the microphone, sorry. James Perry seems like he's not settled with the time he made. Never mind what I said, because he went off track, and the pole position time he was making is down to the tube. Svinadinovic, the Ferrari we were seeing earlier in front of the orange Mercedes, seems like he is now improving a bit. It may even be... Okay, he's currently kind of flat on himself, so 0.0, 0.1 maybe. But Alfie Baron is improving a lot. Everyone that didn't start round number 1, so he is already with a 0 on his first round, but nothing is over until it's over. As I'm also seeing Nakira just behind him in the Honda. As Nakira with also the Lumilink going on and off, just to represent how he is the leader of them all, and in fact he is going 2 times below. Same goes for James Perry. It's a bit of a battle inside a battle, because he's now 3 times and is nearly touching the 52s, which is an astonishing job. 53.3 for the Italian in the 15. Oh, James Perry is improving a lot too. 2 times for now, but there are other 2 times in the very end of the track for the Porsche. Apparently the Porsche has been reworked, but doesn't seem... That's the thing, is it that much bad now, or isn't? Because I know that Suzuka is like 7 tenths off, which is a pity, because I just... The second I said, okay, I will use Porsche this season, no, you can't. End of the line. Alfie Baron goes in 6th, ahead of his teammate. But for now we're with the Porsche, because he's very much on the line with the pole position, but I don't think it will happen as the straight appears, so it's instantly a whole tenth that goes away, and in fact he goes 1.2 tenths off pole position and stays in 2nd, but he still has fuel enough for another lap. And will it be enough for putting himself into pole? That's the question. As Nakira has officially concluded his session, so for now the only person that can really face and challenge P1 is currently 80, 120, 150. Okay, he's improving. To go with Victor Martin, because quietly he's been putting out lap times good enough to improving himself on over and over, and for now just behind another McLaren. Okay, never mind, because apparently he just lost 2 times on the very 13th corner. And remember that P3, oh, the McLaren went into a another planet. It disappeared from the screen. Seems like it was enough to ruin, maybe, or maybe not. No, it doesn't. He was 10 milliseconds faster than Villazzi, which was double the necessary to go into a position of interest, because he goes in third, whilst Amir Kasitarash goes in 7th, and Miladinovic just behind him goes in 8th. So it seems like a little battle between teammates now, because Alfie Baron is now in the middle between... I mean, Miladinovic is kinda ruining the sandwich. But Katie went in 5th, I wasn't even noticing. That's on me. So the 737 went with 753, but Cops is really improving his lap. Seems like TurboStack is 2, and TurboStack is also closer to the line. So for now we'll go with TurboStack in the 100. Oh, he went on the gravel. Okay, that's on me. My fault for him not improving, because commentator scored 60. Oh, never mind, because Cops went red, so it means he will not improve, and the only car currently on a valid lap is Waizi in 26th. And I think it will be enough just for 25th, no, 24th for the Austrian. And I need to get rid of this, because this was, no wait, this was your, never mind. Every time I try it, and I will never succeed in it. So what? Give me back the standings, give me Assetto Corsa, give me the drive button, and give me Google Chrome, because we are going with the always track drone thingy that... Okay. That I like to do. It's just because I have to at least show something while we wait for the 3 minutes. What is called? Oh yeah. So I was killing myself nearly by the chair. I'm very clever. So for now we'll go with... Okay, is everything correct? At least this time. Please tell me so. Okay, for the first time in my life I did something good. So we'll go with the underneath the red lights, and I need the track map, otherwise I can't follow myself. And obvious. Okay. So we'll go with a little drone lap with, well, me, your pilot. So sorry Mark for ruining your job. Now I'm the pilot. And we are going into turn 1, which is usually kind of a graveyard, because everyone wants to brake as soon as possible, but sometimes you have to overshot the braking, and you can go way across the track, as we saw yesterday, with a car flying across the track and not collecting anyone, luckily. While I was talking, we went through the Mercedes Arena, which is turn 1 to 5. This little point here is the cut across in the VLN series, because the Nurburgring sprint that collects itself to the Nordschleife is used in that series. And DTM, no, okay, no, I can't remember if DTM used the sprint version. Anyway, we go into turn 6, which doesn't have a name, and then for the curve, turn 7, usually you try to go as outside as possible and then on the inside, because it's slightly cambered. And this track is basically always like this, so outside to the inside, because it's a lot of camber, and I think Formula 1 with the new regs will be astonishing with this track, but we have to go in the Middle East. Okay, I can speak with these things. And then the hairpin, Dunlop curve, you kind of have the V-shaped line, or the U-shaped line, or the C-shaped line. It's your choice to choose whichever you want. And then Schumacher S, the curb on the outside, and then on the inside you slightly touch the curb, and then here you use all the AstroTurf and not go into the gravel, otherwise it's the wall that will wait for your presence. Then we go into the third straight underneath the billboard. You always slow down on the hundreds, and then here left and then right, which is 11 and 12, vertical curve and Steiner curve. And you can't use the inside curve, otherwise you settle your car and die. That's not really anything more. And then the fastest part of the circuit, because the circuit is not really straight based, It's more like, it's very technical and I love it. Into Advan Bogen, which is 14, and you usually brake here at the 50 or the 70 if you are in the Honda. Cut across the chicane as much as you can into NGK chicane. 14 and 15, and then in Coca-Cola curve in 16, we don't go left, we go right, and then into the finish line in the night time of the Nurburgring. And is there here? I think there is, because I remember looking at it. Yes, I'm wasting time because I can. It is. Please tell me it's here too. No, okay, yes, it is. It's the little roller coaster, which is not really a roller coaster. It's more like used by the TV cams, but it's always thought to be seen. This thing here. But anyway, it was enough for from my side to speak. We will hear the cars now and wait for the hour that will start shortly. An hour of racing that will go, I hope, smooth as possible. For now, Mattia Nakira not really doing S's in his formation lap, more just braking and speeding at the same time, which hits the brakes, which hit the tires. I mean, maybe it's better like this. I don't know. What am I thinking? Okay, I forgot to say something. I was thinking about saying something, I just can't remember what. So I'm the cleverest guy currently alive. For now we'll go with Mattia Nakira. He is currently in front, or better, alongside the Porsche. And considering the nerf, I don't think the Porsche will have any chance unless, well, the Honda and the Porsche are kinda where one the opposite of the other. One is good in braking, one is the worst. One is good, is the best in top speed, the one is the worst. So it was good. Why they ruined it? Because now the Porsche will have turn 1, which is a huge braking zone, where the car will just be basically throwing an anchor into the tarmac, while the Honda has to basically brake from the start-finish line to braking time. And I'm optimistic. So I'm kind of curious to see the BMW, considering the lot. I'm kind of interested to see how Victor Martin and maybe Michele Villazzi will do just behind the cars. 4 different cars in the first 4 places, as Beckman apparently didn't put the car on track in time, and he will start from the pit lane, but it's nearly start of round number 2 for the Poker Sim Gear GT3 Season 7, round number 2, and you are nearly there, and green light, and away we go with a pretty normal start. Oh, there is a Ferrari, terrible start by Miladinovic, who loses already 2 positions, maybe 3, but will stay in the front, as I see the Honda kind of taking the inside as much as possible. It's a free wide against the 3 orange cars, and it's going to be, for now, everything seems correct, but I'm seeing some yellow flags, so it seems like some drivers have corrected each other, as there is a free wide into turn 2. Oh, contact between 2 drivers, and apparently the McLaren has had the worst possible fate, and I see some other cars going out of track. There is Ring then, and Vignar was the collected driver, but for now we go with Kerry. Apparently he managed to get the position out of Garby's hands, as Baron has to defend against Milton Tomlinson Dennis, and apparently Milton Tomlinson Dennis will stay just behind. Meanwhile there is Jewig making the inside on the Porsche, and I think Danix wants to keep the position, and in fact he does. He stays in the inside and protect everything he could, and he can manage to stay in 11th. But for now, Michele Villazzi has to defend. Meanwhile, behind, I think that is no, okay. Everything seems normal for now. We'll go back in TV2, which is the best one, and I need another thing. Cops. Oh, some contact between Cops and Beckman, as Beckman gains back the position on the 69 car BMW. It was a bit of physical overtake between the two. For now, Alfie Barra and Tomlinson Dennis. Oh, Ingal overtakes Cops and Chris Schneider. Oh, because Chris Schneider is off. There's been a little bit of as oh, Jim Swear is off. Oh, Jim Swear went into the wall in the chicane. No, no, not in the chicane. He went into the wall by something. I want to see what happened back again from the helicam. He went into the gravel. Oh, he lost the car altogether, and he was in P2. So now he's, well, not in the wall, but he's very down the grid. He's currently 10th, and it's going to be a comeback route for. Oh, fifth is off. Fifth is off. Fifth is definitely not on track. Seems like something happened to him. Something of some kind. Let's see back what happened. From the helicam. Oh, there was a side-by-side in chicane. And no contact, he just lost the car on himself. And Fifth went into the grass. No contact with the wall, but there was a car going into the pits. And I think it was, yes, it was FRLACC. FRLACC into, I think it may be a drive-through for start procedure. Meanwhile, there is the car there, which was, I think it was, yes, it was Ring making the overtake. Meanwhile, we go back in front. Because Baron is very close to the Honda in front of him. You can see Alfie Baron 2 times away from Garby in the 2-1, and his teammate just behind, kinda putting pressure on the Honda. As a lot of drivers. Oh wait, I forgot this. This is a bit on me. I need to do this one here and this one here. Please don't tell me that something happened. Okay. As Casitarash is losing a position on Perry. Oh, Perry made back one position at least. He is currently 9th and overtakes the Ferrari 789, but there is the 58 just half a second in front. It's going to be the next opponent for him. I heard some gravel. Oh, that's definitely some gravel. That's grass 2. He gets overtaken by 1, maybe 2 cars, and in fact the Dynix goes behind the Inga in the 46 Aston Martin. I heard correctly, it was a lot of gravel being heard by the offside. Meanwhile, Thompson then is still kind of battling with a teammate in front. Decides to stay behind. Understand that there is not really much to do there just before the chicane. It's a bit of a compacted group, this one here. As the 2 orange cars goes into the final hairpin. Meanwhile, James Perry, Mattia Nakira goes into fastest, and Victor Martin does the same, and he goes into 54.8. So currently, Victor Martin is the fastest car all around. Meanwhile, James Perry is back behind another Ferrari. This time it is Miladinovic, as the 58 has to defend against a very hungry Porsche. And I want to see here, as Cops may try an overtake somewhere. It doesn't now. But as it stands, this is definitely a train, a huge train between P14 and P23. 10 cars, one after the other. In fact, we can see from the beginning of the train, you can see all the train here that doesn't end. It's just phenomenal to be seen. Meanwhile, we'll go here because Miladinowic's wing is full of yellow and blue. As James Perry lapping Quick. Quick is reductive, to be honest. He's flying. No damage luckily for the Porsche, but still some pace to be made back. Meanwhile, also here, seems like Garvey made a mistake somewhere, because you saw the 2 cars flying by. The 2-1 in front of the 95. For now we'll go with the wing, because it's quite clear that the 2-1 is kinda feeling the pressure by the British driver, who is currently trying the, not sure, the outside on here. Okay, no, he stays behind. You understand there is no chance to make it. Tries to get the best possible line out of here. It's clear that Baron and Tomlinson Dennis are kind of working together to avoid hitting each other, to overtake at least one of the 2 of the cars, which is Garby, currently sitting into the inside. They go side by side, one in the left, the other in the right. Seems like the left Honda is, well, was trying the overtake. Meanwhile, something happened here because Perry made the overtake on Miladinovic, and I saw a yellow flag. It was Beckman who was exploded. Not really sure why. Can't really know, because it's not showing me anything on the race control. This maybe, no, this is definitely not right. Okay, no, I can't see what happened. But I saw a yellow flag, so I suppose a mistake by his side, but we will not see what happened. And for now we'll stay here, as FRLACC is also gaining a bit, but just a bit, because even if in this very last lap the gap has been 7 milliseconds between Victor Martin and Michele FRLACC, P2 and P3, as Nakira went fastest 54.3, as Baron goes alongside the other Honda and overtakes him from the outside. Can it happen? Ooh, he closed the door at the very end of the overtake. I want to see it back what happened. Oh, he went on the gravel, lost extra speed, he went on the outside, he decided to risk everything, and he managed to overtake the Honda at the very final moment. And Gabi was then getting overtaken even by Milton Thompson Dennis as he goes into the inside and managed to overtake thanks to the optimal top speed of the Mercedes. He goes into 6th, and then Garvey is now in 7th. It seems like James Perry is another name that will be added to the list of Garvey's opponent list. It seems like James Perry is now very close to the Honda in front. Oh, he completely launches the car and managed to get some touch between him and the Honda, but overtakes Garvey. It is free in a single lap. But it's clear that the Honda is not really happy with how the overtake was made. It is now James Perry in the 4 ahead of Garvey. And now there are two other cars, two very different cars. A Mercedes and a... well, no, the Honda is not different. And I also want to see here what is happening, because it's clear that Ingal is very close to Juig. It's very, very close. For now we'll stay here because Juig made a 56.3 and 56.0 has been made by the 46 car. So for now the McLaren seems like the sitting duck of the two cars. As the Ferrari passes by, McLaren and an Aston just behind. With Inga. Oh, Cups is off! Oh, Cups is definitely off track! And he is currently sideways. So something happened to him. We can see what happened as he was just behind a Porsche who was Chris Schneider. In the Porsche, he went into the start of the S, he lost the car in the beginning, on the gravel he went, he tried to recover it, but he went sideways in the middle of the Schumacher S. And he's currently in 23rd, very down the grid. We got with Sergio Zorio back again in 19th. For now I think a little battle leader. Okay, in terms of time, James Perry has been the fastest of the 7. And there's been 55.1, 54.9, another 9, a 0.0, 0.8, 4.8 obviously, 5.0, 4.8, which was in James Perry's hand because it's a 4.800 on the very, basically like a razor knife. And I really think that this time, oh, Filth overtook Osorio in the corner. In turn 1, I suppose. I think we unfortunately lost it. But I fear to go into overtake because here James Perry is very close to the Mercedes in front of him. Let's go into the orange. Mercedes has to look at his mirrors. Mercedes is not very strong in this track. Oh, he went slightly over the line. Oh, Milodimic too kind of trying to overtake on Garvey and flashing the lights, kind of saying, mate, you know what, you're slow. And the lap times are giving the Ferrari the right as he goes into the inside, but nothing really happens for now. 55.3 for the Ferrari and Garvey went in 6.1, so it seems like the pace really went into pieces. As soon as the first of the 3 overtakes happened. A lot of overtakes that may happen behind as the 58 for now stays just behind Garby, but Schneider is definitely trying the overtake on the other Porsche. It's 27 against 14 here, and seems like it will stay the same order for now, at least for now. And because now it's here. The problem is that Tomlinson Dennis is very close to his teammate in front, who lapped 55.4. So I suppose a mistake by the British driver, as the other fellow British driver is just behind, getting followed by James Perry. It's a bit of a train, this one here, with Thomas Dennis that has been the fastest of the three. I will not be surprised if Thomas Dennis will ask for some clean air. As Garby just behind, as Perry just behind is at this point just looking, because there is a match that can be done against two cars that make the straight line speed their strength. The Mercedes is nearly the quickest and the Honda is the quickest. Maybe the opposite, not really sure. Because it depends on the track, because I know in Suzuka the Mercedes is faster, but in other tracks the Honda is faster. It depends on the pop that has been lately applied. But now James Perry stays here, possibly waiting 6 minutes and 55 seconds, and as soon as the green light is on... Oh, Schneider overtakes effectively Danix on the inside he goes. And Danix is now a matter of the past. James Perry here is very close to the Mercedes, but yet again nothing really happens. For now we'll go into here. Oh no, I just missed it. Well, enjoy. Sorry. So now Schneider overtook Danix for the Battle of Porsches, even if James Perry is the quickest one of the Porsches. Some gap has been put between the Mercedes and the Porsche, and some has been eaten between said Mercedes and the Honda in front. This camera is truly awful. This one is more scenic. As now, oh, why is he? Seems like he overtook the Ferrari on turn 1. The overtake that has happened between the 99 and 93. You can see quickly what happened here. Oh, he went on the inside, the Ferrari giving a lot of space to the McLaren, and it was overtake done on the very final part there. Apparently Firth is back in front. I don't know if I can manage to take it back. Now the Ferrari of Owaisi is back in front of the McLaren. So for now we'll stay here into Baron Swing. Seems like the Mercedes is back with some gap, as the Porsche is now very close to the Mercedes. In fact, I can see here the Porsche is really close. It's close to the Mercedes. Seems like a mistake has happened to the British driver, and now James Perry. Now that I think about it, it's all British driver battle here. So it's the battle of the Highland among 3 drivers, all 3 from the island. But for now, it seems like the Honda is the victorious British flag. Even if the Porsche is really fast, by surprise, I would say. Oh, a little mistake by the Mercedes driver, as he went a bit too much on the brakes. Possibly a bit overconfident on his braking, and the Porsche for now stays behind it, yeah. Oh, Schneider and Danix. Oh, there's been a crash here. Oh, there's been an incident between the 27 and the 14. You can see what happened here from the helicam. Seems like the Porsche, well, he wasn't braking on time, and after he took the 14 out. And Schneider is now in 20th with Danix in 15th. So huge difficulty for the driver now in 20th for the Hungarian. that last season was into the rookies. Little incident that has happened, but for now, still here is the main battle. Because I'm keeping an eye on everything. It's just that there are some battles, one after the other. It's just that they are very, very gapped. And in fact, I can see here that Dan is getting maybe overtaken by cops. As I will stay with a little eye on the other twos. And in fact, James Perry is now very close to the Mercedes in front. It will be ironic to see a Porsche overtaking someone in the straight. In fact, it doesn't happen for now, as Mercedes is very, very fast in this section here. The Mercedes stays in front for now. There is a little piece of paper. Oh, then he's off. Then went off somewhere. You can see what happened. No, I can't. It seems like he lost it on himself. Less than 9 and haters. No, okay, he lost it on himself on the gravel. Seems the case. And come on, replay, can I get back here? Thanks a lot. James Perry. Oh, Firth is very close to the car in front, following the Aston Martin. He tries the outside. Oh, he definitely tries the outside too much. He goes into the curb, he breaks into the curb, and he doesn't manage to brake on time, and he loses a position or two. Meanwhile, James Perry is now on the outside. He tries a bit of an impossible move. If it happens, I will give him a Nobel Prize, and in fact, I will go now in his home and give it to him, because it was an astonishing move being done from the outside. Something that has to be seen back again from the outside here. You can see into turn 6. And then for the curve, he uses the inside line on his favor, and it is now the Mercedes is now in the past. That was an astonishing move. Now I need to travel into UK to give him a Nobel Prize, because now I said it. I have to do it, I guess. Astonishing move by James Perry. Really, lot of. I can't say it, but. Oh, Sergio Osorio is off for some reasons. What happened here? Oh, he definitely didn't brake in time. No, he didn't brake at all. In fact, he's currently off track. Into the gravel he went. I can just say that someone has to take some ballast off the Porsche, because it was really a move and a half. So we'll stay here, because Garbi and Miladinovic is still a battle here that is kind of firing. Dan is now in the pits. And I shuffled away my... Oh! Ingal and Juwig, one side by side the other. So Ingal seems like he managed to overtake Juwig on the inside of turn 1. And in fact... maybe not. You can see the McLaren is still there with the yellow LEDs, but it's better to call LEDs. But Ingal seems like after the initial struggle, which window is now open, he managed to overtake Juwig, and now the 789 is the next opponent, because here is the Ferrari in the 789. Seems like Osorio is really struggling with the Porsche lately. But for now, I want to stay here with Miladinovic, as I also want to use these. You have to believe me, I'm doing something useful. Set, tack. Okay, I did something. I just hope it doesn't blow up. So for now there is Dan and Ring, that seems like... no, Erlung. So Erlung having some difficulties currently in the pit and with some damage on his car. For now I want to stay here. Oh, even better, I can stay here, and I can also stay... no, here, not here, oh, here, in the diffuser. The diffuser cam is one of the least used by me, but you can see, oh, the fire from the terminal and the sparks flying by. That's phenomenal to be seen. Honestly, nighttime is the best racing time, and no one can tell me otherwise. And you know what? Because endurance racing also happens in the night. Speaking of endurance, tomorrow there is the Chiaramine Hours. Follow me. because I will be driving and doing commentary. Because James will do the first part of the commentary. I will do the final part, because I will drive in the first part, in the Audi. And speaking of endurance, no, it's next week. So I will ruin your days, spamming it in every single moment. But next week, because now it's not the time yet. For now, Garvin Miladino is still a little fight between the blue and red and the white and black cars. 55.2 by both drivers. It seems like after the overtake is the same thing that happened to Garby. Seems like it happened to Milton Thompson Dennis, because he is now lapping very slow, unless it was just a one-off. And Perry is now lapping 4.5, nearly the fastest car on track. With the number 4 really struggling to at least get back to a top 5. But the top 5 is 8 times away. So it could contain damages, at least, at the very least. And Quentin Miladinovic, 9th place. And seems like the battle is not really changing, and no one went to the pits yet. Which is odd. Usually I would have seen some undercuts. Consider that Nurburgring is very easy to overtake, so I understand the overcut, not too much. As little overtake here between Danex and Norscan. Ooh, little contact between the two drivers too, and the Porsche seems like when the Ganassi went, and some other contact between the two drivers, with Waizi just looking at it from the outside. You can see the contact back again here. Oh, definitely the Porsche tried to kind of defend in the best way possible, as a Furf and Cops went into the pits, just as I was saying it. As now you can see the McLaren of Waizi into the inside went. Cut back for the Porsche, but Waizi managed to stay in front, well, at least for now, as the leaderboard is just in the middle. Oh, contact between the drivers back again. It seems like the Porsche is not really following the other drivers' lines. And in fact, he's now lost another position, as Kelderman went in front of the number 27. So he's now even behind the Aston Martin. So he went from trying to overtake back on 15th place to staying in 18th. As Furf and Cops were the first one to try the undercut. As I was saying here, the undercut is very good, but the overcut may be even better, considering how easy it is to overtake. As currently the ERS car here kinda struggling a bit in exit, just on the things, as the Porsche is instead the quickest rocket ship ever imagined. But the Honda, well, at least on the exit, because the Honda just gains everything on the straight. But it seems like the Porsche wants to try something. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't. Stays behind, as Marco Cady goes inside the pit lane in 4th place. Kinda trying a different tactic. So Marco Cady in 737. Now, in the pits, first of the top 10 to go into the pits too. Top 15 even. So it will be possibly the one to watch for any possible strategy, as either Kelderman and Danex went in. I wondered if Danex went in for damage too. Oh, that definitely is a track limit violation. As Danex is with yellow flags, something really happened here to the Honda, as he gets overtaken too by... Oh, I can't believe it. At this point I just can't believe I'm so... Anyway, James Barron get... Alfie Barron... I combined the two. Alfie Barron went... got overtaken by James Perry, with the final British that is now ahead of the other duo. Seems like he wasn't really keen to take a track limit for staying where he was, and decided to lose the position, but at least not having a track limit. Oh, that's some gravel. Who went into the gravel? Someone went into the gravel, I'm sure about it. I just don't know who. I don't see any yellow flag. Can I see what happened to the Porsche? Or am I... No, possibly not. Because this one here, no. This one here is not definitely not the incident that happened to the Porsche. I think the Porsche went too much into the brakes and lost everything. Meanwhile, Garby tries the undercut. Same goes with Milton Tomlinson Dennis. As I was saying, he goes for the undercut to protect himself for Miladinovic, which is a choice. Considering the 58 was very close to attacking the Honda. And now Alfa Romeo is still kinda staying behind the Porsche. Nothing really happens for now. Just the finger. The Alfa Romeo will stay here because it seems like the two drivers are one following the other, possibly trying to have more information about the correct and the optimal racing line to be taken. Looking at the pit stop, seems like everyone had the normal pit stop for up until now. Tomlinson Dennis seems like he either had some damage or missed the pit box because he did a 35 seconds. Garby definitely with some damage because he did a 37-second pit. And 30... Okay, still going. So he's saying a lengthy pit stop for Schneider. Sitting in the pits for now with a lot of damage to his car. How much is it? I thought it was less. He's already with 57. As Nakira did the fastest lap after 30 minutes of racing. So definitely a great race pace by the Italian, who just lapped at 54.2. With now 3 seconds of gap between him and Martin, who went with a 54.7 in the last lap, and 55.1 for Villazzi just behind. Miladinovic and Kasitarash kinda answering to what happened to Garby, so pitting. As Marco Chiedi is now kinda in a difficult situation because he has the first one of... Okay, now I think I can do this. Give me this. A bit stop. And you can see here, Marco Chiedi is the first one that will attack the last one of the non-pitting drivers. So Sergio Zorio is currently the sitting down there. Oh no, he went in the pit, so never mind what I was about to say. As now the first one, the last one of not pitting drivers is the 69 in 8th place. Currently a lot of seconds ahead. It seems like everyone is kind of deciding now to go at the very midpoint. As Tomlinson Dennis goes in front of Miladinovic, by no surprise. But the surprise is that Garby is now 3 seconds behind Miladinovic. So the undercut really didn't work, and the answer is because his pit stop was in fact a 37-second pit stop, while Miladinovic was 5 seconds quicker. So that's why the overtake happened between the two. And the seconds of difference really put a nail on who has to be in front of who. We know Miladinovic in the 58, just in front of Garby, who is in front of Kasitarash, who is in front of Juwig, and then all the others. I think I want to go to Coleman, because Coleman is 4 times behind the YZ. And let's see if the thing I did earlier, now is it working? Oh, this one here, please, no, okay. Not yet, because I can't still understand anything. Villazzi goes into the pits. And Ingal too. And same goes for Cops. With Kiss, Baron, Perry, Martin and Akira feeling like the overcut is the correct answer. Which is, I will say, true. Because this track here is really easy to overtake. So you can overcut and still manage to get back the time you lost by going too much on your stint. But no, Codeman is very glued to the car in front. 55.9 by the Aston Martin, so really a very good pace. As Villas is now behind Caddy. Oh wait, what happened in the pits? Because something happened. No, nothing happens. Nothing happened. The BMW was just faster than Villazzi. So Villazzi now in the Mercedes 87 behind the 737. So this puts the Swiss driver into, I think it is third position. It is the podium for the Swiss driver for now, who was in fourth. It seems like Villazzi either did a mistake somewhere, because everything seems normal in the pits. He may have as well just braked too early, which is fair, or just made a mistake somewhere around, but he's now a second and a half behind KD. It's a bit of huge one. Meanwhile, Juig behind Ingal in the 46. Is the battle still going on? And the answer is yes, apparently. As Nakira and Barron went to the pits. This puts Martin and Perry and Kiss. No, never mind. Martin and Perry, the only two drivers still without a pit stop. So they are definitely throwing the overcut as long as possible. But I'm also thinking Miladimic is very close to Milton Thomas and Dennis. The Mercedes facing some troubles in his path, and in fact you can see the Ferrari on the inside. It goes nearly contact between the two drivers, but seems like the Mercedes is kinda getting back the time on the very straight. Can he maintain the position? He goes into the chicane on the inside and stays in front with a little contact between the drivers. Seems like a Ferrari is not really happy with the fact that the tiny amount of contact happened and flashing the light, but for now the Mercedes stays in front of the Ferrari. And okay, I was looking for things, but I don't think like I finding anything. So now Milton Thomas and Dennis, Miladimic and Garby are a little train of 3 cars, one following the other. So we go in the wing. As Perry goes into the pits for now. Well, for now, he goes into the pits, that's it. And Martin is now yet another lap, and it doesn't seem like he wants to pit. And now that I think about it, there isn't an Audi. There isn't a single Audi in this in this field. Why? Why is everyone afraid of the... Oh, Zorio is off. Ooh, Zorio is off in a very odd place. Where is he? He's turn 2. Oh, okay. Definitely the car having a ride into the AstroTurf, over the AstroTurf, and there is him flying away into oblivion. No, James Perry is now in 4th, and there is Villazzi side by side with him, with Thomas and Dennis casually putting the fastest lap in the race from 7th. 54.1 for the Mercedes driver. Seems like he find the pace back. As now the 87 has to overtake a cold-tired, slow and straight Porsche in a Mercedes with hot tires and a lot of speed. So not really mission impossible, but it's James Perry we are talking about, and we saw the overtake he made earlier on, so the car may not be the only variable in this battle. There may be something else, and something else is how much ballast has the driver. For now the Mercedes still behind the Porsche in the hairpin. Into Dunlop curve. I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm perfectly aware of that. Just that I don't know German. He goes into the gravel nearly. Whew. We saw yesterday in the rookies how many people luckily touched the gravel and exploded. So you don't really want to go there. Not even if paid, you want to go there. But for now, the Mercedes is still behind Perry. But I think the situation may change in the next upcoming minutes. Or maybe not, because maybe Perry can also trying to achieve the podium at least. At the very least, the Mercedes is off into the grass he went! He doesn't collect himself into the wall, but it was definitely scary by Villazzi. And now Alfie Baron is looking at a possible 5th place, as Perry is now a second away from Caddy, and Akira made a 53.9. With Middleton is putting, because he was the fastest, no, 54.2. So a very, very good pace. But he's currently 5 seconds away from his teammate, who just upped 4.4. And seems like the ERS car may have a chance for the 5th, if anything. Because seems like the Mercedes is kind of struggling here. Well, not really a surprise, to be honest. The Mercedes here was bound to be unhappy, as Martin pits at the very final moment possible. Because I forgot he was still riding around in 54.5 with all tires. That's the good thing about BMW. The BMW is a good car altogether. You can't say no. So now I'm very curious to see how quick will the BMW be, and where it will be put on track. Because I legitimately forgot that Victor Martin was a thing. Like I was just flying away with the mind. He just went in a pit with Nakira 30 seconds away from, no, 20 from his position. Oh, there's a gravel there. We're currently lapping a 0.6, while Miladivic did a 0.3. So very, very fast lap time by the Ferrari driver who is flying. Because it seems like the Mercedes is very close compared to earlier on, as James Perry is very close to the BMW with a 53.9. 8 times has been gained by the British driver over the Swiss. Victor Martin comes out in second, so he has a 7 seconds of disadvantage, but he has definitely fresher tires. Let me see the pit stop phase. He made a kinda perfect, he just missed the pit box because he made a 35 seconds pit stop. Thank you, Jeff. 3 seconds that were worthy, possibly a very high ranking position, but for now we will stay there. Meanwhile, we are with the Porsche. Lumirank, not Lumilink. Why did I say Lumilink earlier on? It's Lumirank. Or does it have a different name? Anyway. There are 3 battles ongoing, because I was also seeing behind, and Baron seems like he is cutting in half the gap every single time he crosses the finish line. Miladivic is now 7 times away from Milton Thomas Dennis, and Garby has the same gap to the Ferrari that the Ferrari has to the Mercedes. But this is the closest battle, with a 737 now has to defend against a Porsche, a very hungry Porsche, lapping 8 times quicker than said BMW, who is also then struggling a lot compared to the Porsche. So the last passage as Nakira went into 3.8, so definitely the fastest lap of the race so far, because I think that there's going to be maybe even an improvement. 4.6 and 4.5 by the 2 drivers, 4.8 by Baron, and the Porsche is trying the outside into turn 1. And Baron from 6th place puts fastest lap time. It's never too late, I guess. And I need to do this because I forgot. Tell me something I don't know. Nationality. Let's see this. As now James Perry is basically no, not this one here, not this one here. No, okay, I'm just ruining everything at this point. Okay, pass. Okay, I managed to take a splitter at the 7th attempt. Oh, they've been put really low on turn 7. So there is currently Perry that has the chance to gain a whole 8/10 of difference to the BMW, but he is now glued to him, and the straight is not really the best place, so he has to kind of invent, and he has to patent the overtake to put a copyright over it. There is Villazzi and Baron with the same situation there, because one of the two went into 4.6 and the other went 8 times quicker. So it's definitely a huge gap. It's the same basically with happened between Perry and Caddy, and seems like it's the same is happening even behind, because Tomason, Dennis and Miladinovic had the same gap. 4.9 for the Mercedes, 4.3 for the Ferrari, and 4.3 for the Garbi too. So the Honda really flying. And I want to do this, and I want to do this. As the Ferrari is down there, just sitting and waiting. Where is? And asking himself, what is the best place to launch the car? I put the end where it wasn't needed to be put. Yes, I managed to hurt myself. I don't know even how. I just managed to hurt myself. As Perry. Why every time I'm not looking, something happened? There's been a mistake or something. I wasn't looking here. You can see the overtake back again. So the gap was. Oh no, there's been a little overshoot by the Porsche, and the BMW kind of struggling. It all happened in a matter of 2 seconds while I was looking behind, and the Porsche is now in 4th. Apologies for having. Okay, now it has been so normal that it's not even a news anymore. So KD, from the replay we saw that James Perry is now in front. I don't know how I have this proficiency in missing overtakes. Is it a skill? Can I put it in my CV? Like, can't they give me a job by this? Anyway, Thomas Online is still here. Has Miladinovic and Garbi behind. Oh, into the gravel he went! And I think the Ferrari has the chance this time to make it leave, and in fact it goes into the outside. Seems like the Mercedes covered in time the mistake, but as the Ferrari is kinda thinking about something that can't really happen. As it's now Garbi, May took the chance, and in fact he does. A bit of an opportunistic move, with the Ferrari going into the gravel, and the Honda managing to take 8th place, and he is now the chaser for the number 159, as now the Honda is following the 7th place car very closely. With the Ferrari maybe being a bit too much, I wouldn't say optimistic, just too much on the limit. And now Miladinovic being behind Garbi. It seems like Villazzi is back on very good lap times. 4.1 for the Italian, 4.5 for the British driver, but there is still a second between the two drivers, so it's not really over yet. I want to see from the interior here, because now I feel the battle may happen between these two drivers instead of 7th and 8th. Maybe between 8th and 9th. You can see the Ferrari putting himself into the mirror, kinda using the AstroTurf as much as possible to have more rotation to his car. But seems like the gap is kinda widening with the Mercedes. You can see the different path of the car. The Mercedes had a C-shaped turn, while all the others had a U-shaped turn. No one with a V. differently from what we saw yesterday, that someone was trying the V-shaped line. But now with technical thing that have at the time of their life, like, don't really know who can be interested in such things. Even because I'm not really the best driver all around. There are better drivers than me. As Nakira, speaking of which, went in the 3.7 with Martin putting a 4.0, his best, but still not enough to even trying to be a challenge for the Italian, who is now just flying. Oh, Juig is off into somewhere. Not really sure where, but I want to see back what happened here. Oh, he told about himself. Seems like in turn 7 he went into the curb and set as the car, kinda over the throttle, and faces himself into the exiting route. Then with a bit of rallycross he goes back into the track, so not really a problem of any kind for Juig. Now 8 seconds behind Inga, so he's behind him there is Kiss, very close. Ooh, Firth, sorry. I don't know why you say Firth. Firth in the 33, maybe very close to Waizi, the other two McLarens. For now, nothing really happens. Meanwhile, behind here, it is Villazzi and Baron, kinda having their gap cut in half back again. But for now the two cars seems like having a bit of a gap. Still 5-10, but while I was looking at the battle here, I didn't see the fact that now Marco Chiedi is in trouble because the two cars behind him are gaining a lot. 4.3 for Villazzi, 4.1 for Baron, and just a 0.9 for Chiedi. It will be a good news, except the 0.9 is a 4.9, nearly a 5, so he is currently going 7 times slower than Villazzi and 8. No, 8 and 50, just to be precise. Slower than Baron in the last timed lap. And now you can see the two cars are getting closer and closer very quickly as the time passes. So I suppose there is a lot of... I saw someone going... Okay, no, I think the Honda was just having a different line. So I'm not really sure which one to follow here, because I can go into Baron's interiors, or maybe even better, the splitter. You can see the two cars in front of him. And at this point I think the battle will just happen in the next 10 minutes, because really the 10 minutes is the duration of the race. And I think it is altogether, it is, what, 4? Yes, it's 4 laps to go. Only. Oh, no, it's 5 to go, sorry. It's 5 to go. With a 53.8 being put on from Nakira. So, 4 laps, 5, okay, I can't speak anymore. 5 laps to go. As Garby's off! Oh, Garby's off into the chicane! Where he was really following the other Mercedes. And he braked very late and he tried to go as much as possible into braking zone, but at the point I think it was a clever idea to just straight up cutting across the chicane as Alfie Baron is kinda throwing the car into Villazzi's interior. Kinda odd considering the Mercedes doesn't really has better better braking than the Honda. So it's usually the opposite, and I think at this point it's very much okay. Garby was a drive-through, so even that. So track limit violation for Garby too, and he's now in 13th after the spin he had. For now, the Mercedes is back at a safe distance. Oh, into the gravel he went! Never mind! Because I really think the Mercedes has... Okay, no, somehow he survived. Without losing too much time. You can see the Honda really cutting across as much as possible. With Vilazzi that is kind of trying to follow the BMW, but at this point the BMW is getting faster than the Mercedes. As you can see from the splitter. Someone is getting very fast as time passes. Ooh, you saw he went... Barrow went into the curb a bit too aggressively and kinda lost the car, at least the rear, but luckily the Honda is very good. The Mercedes is better, but the Honda is very good into taking the curbs. And now, seems like the sandwich is back again with the BMW in front of Vilazzi, in front of Baron, at the basically same gap. So this is going to be a very interesting battle towards the end of the race. Now Baron kind of following the two drivers at this point. Maybe taking a bit of a break by paying the attacker to just sitting there in a spectator view. I don't mean he's going slower. I just mean that he's not putting 100%. And I think at this point he may just flow the water. Let the water flow, because Vilazzi is clearly having some difficulties in maintaining the car faster than Baron, and if you can clearly see the gravel. That wasn't what I meant to say, but the gap is now 3 times between him and Vilazzi, with Vilazzi a second away from the BMW, with the Mercedes really off, and I think it's being settled by the curb, and the Honda goes into the inside. No touch, maybe? No contact somehow between the two drivers, with the Mercedes kinda maintaining P5 by a couple of centimeters or so before they were alongside each other. But the Honda has a lot of top speed. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any brake proficiency, so he just has to think about something else, because outbraking the Mercedes is not really a viable option for now, as the Mercedes really far off into the AstroTurf. With the Honda you can see how closer to the apex the Honda was, but still the Mercedes maintaining the pace, and the Honda behind him. It is a battle for top 5, to joining the top 5, so not really the last of the places. And for now Baron stays behind the back again, 55.1 for the Honda, 55.6 for the Mercedes. Obviously there was a battle in between, and this puts Caddy in a very optimistic situation, as he now has 1.5 seconds of gap to being no, okay, now it is 2, with Baron it's getting closer and closer, and I think the British driver is getting frustrated of staying behind at this point. Speaking of other drivers overtaking each other, there is Jubig and Kiss. Can have another battle, but I think we will stay here as Nakira, not really unused anymore, goes 53.6, fastest car on the car. Fastest car on the track. Now you can see every single detail of the Mercedes diffuser. You can literally count the pixels at this point for how close the two drivers are. And there are still 3 minutes to go, 2 laps to go. Kinda putting himself into the mirror. Can he jump the Mercedes turn 1? Not really, as the Mercedes has some meters less in the braking zone. It doesn't seem like the Honda is really putting this matter as a problem. Seems like the Honda driver is not really affected by the fact that Mercedes can outbrake the Honda, and in fact is getting closer in some braking spots. As also Waizi in fourth, seems like Waizi is defending from the Ferrari, but the Ferrari seems like he has a bit more. I'm seeing some grass being thrown away. Ferrari on the outside of the hairpin, he tried, but I think this just puts more energy into Cops's Ferrari. So a battle against two Ferraris, and now Cops is in front of fourth by a couple of centimeters, but in turn 1 is going to be the Ferrari number 33 behind. Oh, the McLaren is off! McLaren is off a lot, and this puts fourth, who stays in front with a cutback move of Cops, with Cotman overtaking Waizi. So for now the situation here is still here the same. We are back here. Because here, Alfie Baron, 53.6, fastest lap of the race again. So the Honda really flying. At this point, I wonder how much wing he has. And I'm not talking about the rear wing, I'm talking about aeroplane wings. As the RS driver he just has 1 minute and 54 seconds to make the move. In turn 1 it will not be possible anymore, because now turn 1 has been passed. And turn 2 is the same. As the turns are getting covered, the chances are getting less and less. But the gap is still there, 0.3 of a second. There is the space of a couple of Amazon boxes between the two drivers. But still seems like the Mercedes is defending very well against the Honda. As a fourth, still a battle here with fourth getting overtaken by Cops on this hairpin. And same goes with Aston, with a contact between the two drivers. So the Aston overtakes the Ferrari too, and I think the same goes with the McLaren. Not really a happy situation for the Ferrari flashing the lights. And the McLaren passes by, but for now we'll stay here. Into Schumacher S. With FRLACC, who has 0.5 of a second of difference between him and Baron. We're very close to the end. Someone that is very close to the end is the fastest driver in the track, having a very cool and simple race, and he completes the race in P1.
The leader has finished the race.
Mattia Nakira is the winner of race number 2, with Victor Martin just behind in P2 in the BMW 24, with James Perry managing to get back the position he lost, at least some of them, and complete the race into P3 with a comeback move. A very great race by the British driver, with the 737 completing the race in P4, and Villas in P5 with the British Honda driver in P6. Tomlinson Dennis that keeps P7, with Miladinovic just behind. And Kasitarash that completes the race into, I think it is P9. Okay. Yes, it is P9. I don't know why I said I think it is, because it's written there. It's not like I can just imagine. Ingal completes the top 10 as the only Aston Martin into top 10. And Dewey just behind, into 11th in the 70 McLaren, with Domokos Keys in front of Garby after the drive-through that put him into 13th place. Clearly frustrated by everything. And then Cops, Noscan, Cops Then Coderman with Waizi completing the race as the last one of the lead laps, of the lead lap racing cars. With Osorio just okay, no, Osorio is okay. Osorio is the last one of the lead lap cars. With Furf not in the lobby anymore, and then Krishnader, and then complete your race. So this was race number 2 for the Pursim Gear Championship that put Mattia Nakira as the leader of the Nurburgring track since the first second, and he maintained the gap in a sort of poemic way, just putting fastest lap after fastest lap, putting him into P1. So this is your standing for the race with Nakira, Martin, Perry, Cady, Villazzi, Baron, Tomlinson, Dennis, Miladinovic, Cassitrash, and then Ingel completes your top 10 with then Juwig, Kiss, Garby, Kops, Noskan, Kops, Kane, Koderman, Wise, Firth, Osorio, and then with Vignal and Beckman behind. So this was race number 2. Be sure to be here tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be the 9 hour of Chiarami. It's going to be a long race, and a very interesting one. No rain, seems like for now, no rain on the horizon. But it's going to be a 45 grade car, and it's going to be just as interesting as any other race. So be sure to check it out. James in the commentary in the first 3 hours. I can't remember who is in the second 3 hours, and then me in the final 3. With me also in the wheel for the first, I don't know which one because I still haven't decided yet. So be sure to check out tomorrow. But for who is following just the Pursuing Gear, I will see you all next week in the Friday, or even in Thursday if you want to see the rookies. So for today, good evening, good night to wherever you are in the world. Stay safe and good night. Bye.